My name is Margaret Sass. I'm with Purdue University, and we are here on set of 3E TV. I'm going to be introducing Catherine and Yifan about a great program at Purdue University called Boiler Out. So let's turn to Catherine. Catherine, can you introduce yourself and your role in Boiler Out as well as at Purdue University?
My name is Catherine Burden. I'm an immigration counselor at the ISS office, and I'm also one of the co-coordinators of Boiler Out, along with Nancy Montag. Boiler Out is an international student volunteer group. It's, as far as I know, probably the only international student volunteer group of its kind in the US, I think. It's composed entirely of international students. We go out into the greater Lafayette community and do volunteer events.
Wow. So how many people are involved in Boiler Out?
This semester we have about 240 students. It's been growing at a very rapid pace recently. It started about 5 years ago, just as a pilot program to see if international students would be interested in volunteering at all, and there was an overwhelming interest. So we went from just a couple of volunteer events per month to now we have about 30 events per month.
Wow. So how do international students even learn about Boiler Out?
We try to let them know as soon as they arrive. So when they come for their orientation, we let them know about the opportunity. We have a Facebook page that we post it on. But I think most of all, it's really word of mouth. The students who are involved really enjoy it and tell their friends, and then their friends want to join. So I think that's the way that it really spreads.
So you mentioned orientation, which I think is really interesting at Purdue, what we do for international students. Can you just go over that slightly about what happens right before they come to Purdue or when they first get here?
Yeah, we have a lot of international students.
Right.
You know, a couple thousand come in the fall. And so part of the orientation is the legal aspect of their immigration papers and everything. But we try to welcome them as soon as possible into the community and let them know that they really do belong here and are Boilermakers. So we have a couple of events that the ISS office puts on, you know, welcome parties and dinners and things. A lot of the churches and different community organizations around town also have picnics or various events that they invite the students to, just to let them know what's available, what they can go to in the town.
How long does it usually last for, that event, when they first get here?
Orientation as a whole goes for about 2 weeks, just because of the number of students, and there are, you know, several events each week that the students are welcome to go to.
Are they exposed to any type of volunteering during that week at all?
Not the brand new students, but certainly the students who are here volunteer quite a bit during orientation.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
like what?
I mean, they help out with the check-in for the students. Because there's so much coordination to get that many students through. But, yeah.
So most of the international students are from China, right? What is the second country, do you know of, that you get a lot of? Yeah,
most students are from China. We have quite a few students from India, quite a few from Korea.
Wow. So when Boiler Out first started, it was about 5 years ago, you had a few volunteers, and now it's at 240, about 30 events or so. Are they usually attended pretty well, or do you have enough volunteers for most events? How does that work out? Well,
we have a large variety of events that we offer, just because we know with 240 different people, everyone's going to be interested in different things, have different schedules. So we try to plan as many different types of events as possible, all throughout the week, on the weekends, weekday, or during the day, at night, and also all sorts of types of events. So if a student is interested in working with animals, we go to the animal shelter. If they like kids, we go to elementary schools. You know, we go to nursing homes, all sorts of different things. So really the students can choose whatever works with their schedule and with their interests.
So Yifan, you participate in Boiler Out all the time, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell me how long you've been active in Boiler Out?
This is my third semester in Boiler Out.
Okay.
And when I knew that there's a Boiler Out volunteering program, is that probably 2012, Thanksgiving. There are a lot of that free food, free lunch in church.
Right.
So I went to one of the church, I forgot the name, and I saw Nancy is there, and she just served the food to everyone and other students. And I saw that it's so interesting that I would like to do some kind of this experience. So I asked Nancy that how could you just be there and serve the food? Is there any qualification for that? And she said that, at Purdue we have a Boiler Out volunteering program, and you can apply it. So after that, I immediately go back home and search the website and see the application. So I just submit the application at the next semester, and I was get accepted. So I was in the Boiler Out program, and after one semester, and I became a student leader in the Boiler Out program. So there will be a little kind of different. Still join the events, but you have to take care of all other volunteers. And also you have to contact some of the organizations to make sure that what kind of events we can do and what time that we can attend. So that's quite a little bit different, but it's really nice for me.
So as a student leader, are you also you're a volunteer as well as a student leader? Is that how it works?
Yes, I think most of the students in the Boiler Out program know me because
yes,
I joined a lot of different kind of events every month. Yeah.
Yes, I have heard great things about you and your volunteer activities. So
because you know that doing the volunteer is quite a little bit different. Once I know the first event I joined is to go to the St. Tom and unload a truck, a lot of cans or frozen food, and help them sorting this. And after I've done that, I think that in this great community, Lafayette, there's still a lot of people need help, and we are very glad and honored to and have ability to help them. So and at that time, I think some of people, while chasing or focus on what's the new of the iPhone next generation, but still a lot of people just want to have a good meal and everything for their 3 meals or clothes or something. It's basic basic things. So it's totally different, and I think that if we can just focus on the new generation of the iPhone or other smartphone, we can still spend some time helping those people who really need indeed. So it's great. And especially last winter break, there was a Boiler Way Out. We went to Florida and Pittsburgh, and we help different kind of house members. Some are elderly, and they cannot clean their yards and painting their house. So we went there then for like 3 days in a house. We clean all the trash or leaves for her backyard, and also painted her house. So after painting, after we done the last moment of the painting, almost every people just cry because we did it. Because in the beginning we thought that it's a huge task.
Yes.
Yeah, because you have to clean the house first and then paint it. And some are really high, then you have to figure it out going to the ladder, and also trim the tree, because there are some a lot of trees, but for in that area, there's a storm for that, so it's really dangerous. So the elderly hopes that we can trim the tree to protect their safe. So I know I just saw that moment that when the big tree is done, and the elderly just really happy and just yelling that, oh yeah, the tree is gone, the tree is gone. So we are really happy to fulfill someone's dream. It's kind of like dreams come true. So, and I think it is a great moment at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they appreciate everything that you do. And that was, you said Florida, right?
Yeah.
And so obviously you travel to other places to help, and you also
that's the
volunteer
new
here.
things in the Boiler Out program.
Okay.
Yeah, and also like in this coming spring break, we also have another Boiler Way Out to the Missouri.
Oh, really?
The St. Louis. And the task is a little bit different because I know that there's one day that people need to present their cultures to the students, to the elementary school, I think, and also help cleaning the elementary school or something like that. It's quite different than the Boiler Out in winter break.
Wow, that sounds like a really great program. How many are participating in that one? Do you know?
15.
15?
Yeah.
So you all travel together and you spend some time there. Do you take pictures or?
We took a lot of pictures in every event.
You found us our photographer.
Oh, do you take pictures all the time too and create like history of it?
Yeah, because I would like to capture that moment.
Right.
Like people help or people doing that, or after that people feel like very glad and very happy. So I just every time just find the moment that it's a time to picture and just quickly shot.
Well, that is very cool. I hope you show it to us.
So people can see that on the Facebook, because every time I just post on the Facebook, there are a bunch of pictures there.
So we're going to go to break. Can you give do you know what the website address is for Facebook or what they should look on Facebook for?
Sure. Probably they can capture the...
Like Boiler Out?
Yeah.
Purdue?
Yeah.
Would that be a way? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So if you have an opportunity, please go to look at Facebook, see what they're doing. We want to see pictures, especially of spring break, and we'll be back to you in a few minutes. Thank you.
嘿，朋友们，2014年中国有一期闰9月，一生难逢闰9月。
Ilang si Vendro de Nivero es en Sudáfrica.
¿Sabías que Indiana es casi 5 veces más grande que El Salvador y tenemos 20 volcanes activos?
日本のトイレはすごい。
冬でも便座は暖かいし、
終わった後自動で洗ってくれるし、
音も出てすごい。
日本のトイレは世界で一番です。
Japanese toilets are automated and convenient, with remote controls just like for a TV or video game. Users have an amazing amount of control over their toilet, and it's all on this wireless control panel. It's super eco-friendly. This is a public toilet, and it has a unique feature. That's the sound of running water. Not only does it avoid embarrassment, it's relaxing to listen to.
Do you know that 420 different languages are spoken in the United States?
Hi, welcome back to 3E TV. We're back with Catherine and another student that's very active with Boiler Out. So Catherine, we were just discussing Boiler Out and how many people are participating in it. Can you give examples of perhaps some of activities that you usually do every year or so?
Well, we're very active in the local schools. We usually participate with a program called Cool School, which is an after-school program. We do quite a bit at the animal shelter. Several times a month we work with food finders, either going out to the center itself or working at their mobile pantry, which distributes food to people in need around town at different locations.
Right.
So those are some of the ones that we have as recurring events each month. But other than that, we do have some bigger events that we try to go to as well.
So with it's called Cool School. So is that K through 12 or K through 6 or what age is it?
No, it's I believe it's 5th grade students.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really helping them with their homework, helping out, just getting some of their activity out before their parents pick them up.
So I'm curious about the transportation issue, because I know that a lot of students don't have cars.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a challenge for students to volunteer overall, right?
Yeah.
So how do they get to these shelters and food finder pantries and things?
Well, and that's one of the things that we do recognize, that most of the students in the group live on campus, don't have cars, and otherwise wouldn't be able to get out into the community and experience all these things. So we do provide transportation for anything that's going to be off campus. That's something that we built into the program, and fortunately OFFUS is willing to fund that.
That's great.
So yeah, we usually take students out in a Purdue van, or if it's a larger event, we take a bus.
So if you're going to be going to an animal shelter per se, how many do you usually sign up for that type of activity?
It depends on the size of the vehicle we're taking.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
yeah, most events we do take 7 students plus the driver.
Okay. And the driver is the staff or someone, right?
Yeah, almost every event we always have either a staff member or one of the student leaders go with them, just so that the students have some guidance. They have transportation to get there, and then someone to help them, either explain how things work or just help out.
So I know that you mentioned that Boiler Out started about 5 years ago, and it just keeps on building, probably because we also have a lot more international students as time has passed. So what is your overall goal or incentive for even continuing the program?
Yeah. The program, I love it. I think it's such a great opportunity for students to get involved in the community. Like I said, going out and seeing things that they would never have access to. So that's one of the biggest goals of the program, is to expose the students to American culture, getting them out talking with people at nursing homes or, food pantries. And I think that's important not only for the students to get a realistic view of American culture in this community, but it's also good for the community to see, the international students not just coming here for an education and staying on campus, but getting out and helping and being involved. I think that's a great two-way exchange.
Yes, and it gives them a different exposure, right, to the community of Lafayette, an idea of how Americans actually live outside of the campus environment.
I think it's really eye-opening. I remember personally the first time I took students to one of the mobile pantry events, the students were just shocked. They had no idea that we had food insecurity issues in America. So that was a great experience for everyone.
That is really interesting. I think that's great. So you have been participating, right, in lots of Boiler Out activities. How long have you been at Purdue?
I have been at Purdue for 2.5 years, but I only started Boiler Out last August.
Okay.
So I have been involved in Boiler Out for about 6 months right now. It all started somewhere back in May. So just as a random event, I saw a lot of students were volunteering for treelafayette.org.
Okay.
So we were just planting trees on the roadside, and Catherine was involved in that, and there were a lot of other students, and that is when I first heard about Boiler Out. And then upon suggestion by Catherine, I joined the cohort in August, last year, and since then I've been regularly volunteering. So it's a very interesting opportunity, I feel, Boiler Out, because once every week or so, I would usually volunteer at a different place. It's not a big commitment that you have to have, you have to be there at this time and this day every day of the week or every other day of the week.
Right.
You just have daily events happening across the whole semester. So you can just pick and choose which days you're free, which is good with your classes, and then you can also decide which kind of events you like. Suppose you like playing with animals, you can go to an animal shelter. If you like talking to elder people, you can go to a nursing home, for example. And that is another good thing about Boiler Out, which I really like. So sometimes I would volunteer twice a week. Sometimes if I'm busy with my midterms and stuff, I would skip that week. But I'm able to adjust my schedule a lot. And they also have a lot of interesting events like Food Finders, which Catherine mentioned.
Right.
So it's not just one event. It's a lot of events. Like in one of the events, I went to the farm to actually pick up squash and sort them out. I was just sorting them out into different boxes and bins, and then they would be transported to Food Finders Bank. On another day, which was completely different, I went to Food Finders Bank and I found that there was squash there, and I had actually to sort them into boxes. So I was sorting them into boxes, smaller boxes, and they would be sent out to different places over Tippecanoe County.
Right.
And one of the places which they send out is the mobile pantry, which Catherine was talking about. And then there we have different foodstuffs coming in smaller boxes like squashes, we have pies, we have bread, we have other confectionery items, and we would just distribute them to the people over there. So it's not just one event here, it's a whole chain which we have, and we're making small contributions at different places, which is a good thing because people need volunteering, people need help at a lot of different places, and incremental efforts would go a long way to helping it out.
Wow, so is that one of your favorite activities, or do you have any that really stand out that were your favorite that you've done in the past?
So a good thing about Boiler Out is, as I mentioned before, we try to do a lot of activities. So sometimes the activities do not necessarily have a tangible benefit. Like when I planted trees, you could see, okay, in a few years a tree will grow. And if I'm distributing food, I'm actually helping out people. But like last month on Valentine's Day, what we were doing as a student group was, we went out as a singing Valentine's group, and we were talking to a lot of elderly people at Cumberland Point Nursing Home and at the university place. So it was just making somebody happy through interaction. We were singing songs for them and we were interacting to them. So volunteering, as I feel, it's not just about making tangible difference. Sometimes the intangible things can also be very helpful. So that is one event which particularly stands out in my memory.
So I did hear about that. So you were singing telegrams, right?
Yes, I was singing telegrams.
Yeah, a local nursing home, retirement center. Where was that at?
This was Cumberland Point Nursing Home.
Okay.
And the other one was at University Place. Both of them are in West Lafayette.
Okay, so I'm sure they really appreciated that, right?
Even we did. I mean, we met a lot of people. Like we met a person who was the dean of Purdue, and she's right now 104 years old.
Wow.
And she was walking by herself, which kind of felt happy to see, and we were talking to her, and she felt happy to be interacting to a lot of students and talking to a lot of people, and this was a good experience, I would say.
Wow, that does sound really interesting. You know, Food Finders is actually really popular, especially for volunteers or so. And those pantries that you have been mentioning, the mobile pantries, is something probably fairly new, right? That people have been volunteering at, where they go to different locations across Lafayette. So have you been at the mobile pantry as well, or just in their main headquarters that they have?
Personally, I have been to the previous two destinations, that is collecting squash at the farms and going to the Food Finders Bank. I haven't yet had the chance to go to the mobile pantry. The times didn't work out, but I would like to go once I find a suitable opportunity.
Yes, they have very specific times. That's why it's kind of hard and challenging to get to. So when you came to Purdue, did you volunteer before you even came to Purdue University?
Before coming to Purdue, I did volunteer back in like my undergrad for India, but that was a different kind of volunteering. That was more into, so I used to volunteer for a classical musical organization, and what we used to do was, we used to get big famous artists from all over India and help them perform in small schools and university campuses, so that this new generation is able to understand and listen to some of our more classical greats. So that is the kind of volunteering I used to do before coming to Purdue. After coming to Purdue, I had volunteered here and there at events, because a lot of events happen, like Boiler Blast or something, which happens once or twice a semester, and it's like a day-long volunteering event.
Okay.
And one of them is coming up in April 4th, I would say. So, but I hadn't still been able to volunteer more often because of my classes. I could not commit to any of the places outside of Purdue, and the singular events would happen only once or twice a semester. So I was happy when I found Boiler Out, because I could still volunteer a lot more and I would still be able to adjust it to the time I want to volunteer, I have to volunteer.
So it's much more flexible for your schedule.
I would say so, yeah.
And have you met, I mean, I know that you've been volunteering and meeting the community. Have you met friends through volunteering through Boiler Out from other different countries?
Definitely, like Boiler Out, we have a lot of people. Like last month I met few people from Australia, and then I meet a lot of Chinese students over here, and even Indian students, like some of them I don't really know, and I would meet them through Boiler Out. So it's a good way to interact with people a lot. Then the good thing about Boiler Out is you can even meet students from countries I wouldn't expect. Like I think it was last May when I was volunteering at the tree planting event, and I met a girl from Mongolia, and at that moment I had no idea that people from Mongolia even come to Purdue. And she said she was the first one, and she was the only one to come here. So you would meet interesting students here at Purdue also this way.
So do you ever volunteer with domestic students? I mean, students that are from the United States too, or is it always usually international students?
So usually through Boiler Out, I would meet only international students because it's an international group. But when I used to volunteer for the Boiler Blast and the other daily events which happen once or twice a semester, I would meet more American students also because I would have a lot more chance to interact with them. Like once we went to YWCA.
Yes.
And we were volunteering, like helping them clean up or helping them stock up into things. And I met a lot of American students also because they were also present there.
Right. So Boiler Blast is a merger really of Boiler Out and other different volunteer services.
That's a campus-wide event.
That's a campus-wide event, yeah.
But it is our goal to get more interaction between international students in Boiler Out and American students, so that's definitely a goal of ours.
So you're going to try to think of more activities where they can all volunteer together?
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to partner with other groups. That's definitely something we're thinking of.
So when is Boiler Blast happening?
It's April
4th, I would say.
April 4th, and it's on campus or throughout Lafayette area
So what you do is usually you register online for that event, and they make you meet on campus at a specific place, usually at chemical engineering, and then you spread out. Like there are 10 or 15 buses going to all different places, and you're usually assigned a specific event for your group, and you just go to that place. Like some people will go to Food Finders Bank, some people will go to YWCA, some people would go to other places. So it's a campus-wide event.
Excellent. So how do you find out about these activities for like Boiler Blast? Do you go also to your website at Boiler Out?
Keep our eyes and ears open.
Okay. Okay. So for more information, Catherine, can you give your phone number or email address in case they want to reach you about these activities?
Yeah, if you're interested, actually we have a Boiler Out email address. It's just boilerout@purdue.edu.
Excellent. And you can also look it up on the Google search part of Purdue's website. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate your perspective and volunteering. I mean, Lafayette is probably very grateful for everything that you've done here on campus and throughout, especially also in India. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.